Hello everyone and welcome to a reading wrap-up for the Readathon Monsters University. This was a team-based readathon and Molly will be joining for this for a little bit. Polly's taking a nap. Oh, I think Molly's gonna go join her for a nap. Wanna go join your sister? Here you go. So, okay, team-based. You're sorted onto the teams. I was sorted onto Team OK. And this was hosted on Discord. I will link the Discord in the description box. And so that if there's another readathon for Monsters University in the future, then you can watch for announcements and then participate if this is something that you would like to do. So there were points. I did not figure my points, but I did log them. So, and that's automatically figured, but I didn't write down my points or anything. So let's go ahead and get into this. So you can read the points for your team to defend your team. And then if you read prompts for the other teams, you're attacking the other team. Are you going to join me again? Or are you just going to sit on my lap? I'm going to sit on my lap right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into these. So prompt number 1 for Team OK, the captain was Des Larson. That's the only name that I have. So that would have been like the handle for the Discord, I believe. So prompt number 1 was randomly selected. This is to grab a handful of books, use a wheel to decide what the next read was. And so I decided to use a color wheel, and the color that came up was pink, so I just picked a book with some pink, and I went with Rocky Road to Ruin. There's pink ice cream, the words are pink, and then there's a little bit of pink in the background there with the chairs. So this is written by Mary Allen. This is book number 1 in an ice cream shop mystery, and this is a cozy mystery series. This was 338 pages. I gave this 4 stars. We have this gal who did work for the CIA, not the Culinary Institute of America. I was thinking that where this was food, but it actually is the legal CIA undercover people. Is taking a break, moves back to her hometown, is helping her friend with her ice cream shop. It's your standard cozy mystery. Someone dies. People are accused that the main character's like, no, there's no way they could have done that. And so they self-insert themselves into the investigation to try and solve it because the police aren't competent enough, basically. Well, hello, Polly. You're going to join too, huh? Okay. So we got Polly now. Molly's still on my lap. Hi, Pauls. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. Thoroughly loved it. I need to read more cozy mysteries. I absolutely love reading cozy mysteries, and I just don't pick them up enough, but I love them. They're fun. Prompt number 2 for Team OK was to win, and this was to finish a series. I did not complete this prompt. Number 3 was journaling, and this is to read a book that features a journal or a diary entry. I did not complete this one. Where are you going? Number 4 was Sullivan, and this is to read a book that features people that are well-known or famous. For this one, I went with an ebook. I went with Alice by Christina Henry. This is a horror fantasy retelling of Alice in Wonderland. I gave this one 3 stars. It was 292 pages. The reason why I say this fits this prompt is some of the characters in Alice in Wonderland are famous in this retelling world, and you have to go and get help from these famous people. Think almost like mob boss type famous. So that's how I made that fit. It was creepy at times, and I liked the darkness of it. I wish it would have gone darker, but I still had a good time with it. And then prompt number 5 for Team OK was One Eye, and this is to read a book in 3rd POV. I went with another ebook, The Strange Case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. 3 stars. It was 67 pages. Again, this one was one where I have seen several movie adaptations or show adaptations. I've seen several adaptations. And then this novella or short story was a little bit of a letdown. And that's the thing with Hollywood, is they expand on this stuff so much, especially where it's such a short story. There's a lot more stuff added and background character development in the movies. So I was wanting more character development of the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, and that was really not there in the book. I mean, it was still fine for what it was and for being a classic and a short story. I personally think I would have enjoyed this one much more had it been at least double and we get more information about the individual that's struggling with the Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde thing. That's what I would have liked. Maybe from his perspective or POV, would have liked that a lot more. So there are a couple things that it was just like, not, especially where I've seen several adaptations, it was just like not what I was expecting. And so one, it was a little bit of a letdown because of that, but I just found it lacking in certain areas that I would have liked. Personally, my own preference, more character development with the main character it was about, because we're not following his perspective, we're following like these other third-party people's, their perspective about him. So from the outside looking in rather than from his own internal struggles. And I think it would have been much more powerful had it been from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde's POV. So those are the prompts for Team OK. Now, I did read books for the other team's prompts to attack the other teams. So for Team Hess, HSS, Snake Tongue, Snake on the cover I did not do. Rock and Roll Vibes, featuring a musician. I did How to Stop Time by Matt Haig. The main character that we're following in this, Tom, he plays a lot of musical instruments, so I classify him as a musician. There's a lot of emphasis of him playing this instrument that is, I don't even remember what it's called. I want to say the lute, and that might be wrong, but it's some kind of a stringed instrument. And then there's a lot of talk of him playing the piano. He can play a lot of other instruments as well, but in my mind, he is definitely a musician. So, I mean, he's not this well-known musician or anything. At the time when he played the piano, he was well-known, back because he lives a long, long time. Not an eternity. It's just like he's several hundred years old. He's not a vampire or anything. Eventually he will die, but just this concept of living hundreds and hundreds of years, you've got to move around and adapt, and you're able to learn some other stuff. So he learns the piano, he plays at this place and is famous at that place. So yeah, so I'm counting him as a musician. And I gave 4 stars, 325 pages. Next prompt is Misunderstood. This is to read a book where the main character feels or is misunderstood. I went with Caution Tape, very dark, very much adult, okay? Serial killer romance between 2 serial killers. So it does get gory. Blood is a big turn on sexually for these people. I gave this one 4 stars. It was 276 pages. They definitely feel misunderstood because of how dark their desires are and think that people don't understand them, and they're trying to put on this face and act a certain way to be more accepted. Yeah, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Very dark, very sexually explicit. Prompt number 4, H is the letter. This is to read a book where the author's name starts with the letter H. I did an ebook, After Dark, written by Haruki Murakami. I gave this one 2 stars. It was 247 pages. This was a magical realism, so I was a little hesitant going in. And so it's not like it disappointed me or anything. I kind of figured I would struggle with it, but the synopsis sounded good, so I still wanted to give it a try. But I was hopefully optimistic, but at the same time I was very realistic, knowing that magical realism is generally not my cup of tea. Not quite sure what it is about it, but I do struggle with that genre. But I still wanted to try it, so I gave it a 2 stars just because it was not really for me. But the writing was very well done, in my opinion. I thought the writing was very well done. So, but because it wasn't for me in my enjoyment experience, it was like a 2 star. If I was rating it specifically on the writing style, it'd be more like a 3.5 or a 4 star. But I do my ratings off of my personal enjoyment level. So this left me confused and wanting more, not only answers, but certain things developed in the book. Think The Truman Show, if you've seen that, except not quite at that level. But someone is being watched, and I wanted more development on why someone and who is watching this person through the TV. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. Number 5 is Halfway There. This is to read the book that is in the middle of a series, and I did not do that prompt. Team PNK, the 2 prompts I did not do was the same, so a similar prompt to a favorite book, and Red Eyes, which was a cover changed in the last year, so did not do those. The prompts I did do were Pretty, this is to read a pretty book. I did an ebook, a novella, Christmas at Copper Mountain. I gave this one 4 stars. It was 147 pages. This was more of a sweet romance. It does get a little spicy, but not too bad. Very, very mild on the spice, but there is just a little bit in there. Grief is a big thing. You have loss of spouse, loss of children, as well, and it's like a Western romance. I did enjoy that. I have not read a lot of Westerns, but the Westerns I have read, which are only like 2 or 3, I'm 40, so I have not read much, but the 2 or 3 that I have read that have been Western romances, I have enjoyed, and this was no exception. So 4 stars, short story, and letting yourself, 1, grieve, and letting yourself, 2, soften your heart enough to fall in love again. So Giggling, a book you think will make you laugh. I did a library book, and I read The Sweetest Revenge by Lizzie Dent. This takes place, we're following a perspective of someone who is an American and has relocated to London for a job, and it did make me laugh. There is one point at the very start of the book that she gets drunk and pees on a car, and that is continually brought up throughout the book. And yes, it is a romance. It alludes to that it's going to get very spicy, but it actually does not. It's definitely much more fade to black. So, but it was funny, and a lot of talk of someone knowing what they did in their past, assuming that people are going to hold it over them, which there are people that do, backstabbing, and people aren't going to forgive you for something, but then realizing that they've let it go and they think what you thought they thought is wrong. So a lot of talk about that. Liked that. And then the other prompt for Team PNK that I completed was 3 Eyes. This is to read a book with more than 2 POVs, and I don't remember how many POVs. There was like, I want to say 3 or 4. Definitely at least 3. I read The Water Knife by Paolo Bacigalupi. I'm sure I said that wrong. I apologize. 3 stars, 371 pages. This takes place mostly in like the Arizona, Nevada, Four Corners type area. Utah is mentioned. California is mentioned. The U.S. and I think the whole world is in a massive, massive, massive drought. Water is very much a coveted thing. It's a monitored thing. And so you have these groups of people that when they find that someone is stealing water, they will go and take care of, you know, certain people, and you want to work for people. It's very secret and hush-hush mob type. So definitely a climate control or a climate type fiction. It definitely gets you thinking a little bit, thinking that with the droughts, how severe they can get and what could possibly happen with the people and how they act. So yeah, it was interesting. Okay. Next was for Team ROR. And each team only had 5 prompts. So I only completed 1 for this one. So Jocks, featuring a sport. Invisible, which was a book that you forgot was on your bookshelf. Horrifying, scared to pick up. And Popular, heard about everywhere. I did not do those ones. The one that I did was The In Crowd, and this is to read a book set in the same country as you. I read an ebook, gave it 3 stars. It was 295 pages, and it was Pyrophobia. It was a horror. This was written by Jack Lance, and this guy has pyrophobia. He doesn't know where it stems from, wants to find out. There's talk of hypnotherapy. He gets these Polaroids with this message like, you're not really alive, you are dead. So he's trying to determine if someone is trying to kill him and is threatening him. If someone is sending him some weird message like, you died a long time ago and you're not really who you think you are. There's talk of reincarnation. Is this a spirit, like a haunting type of a thing? So he's trying to determine what's going on there. So next is Team JOX. The prompts I did not complete were Cheats. This is to read to read a book that you read or watched a review of. Loud, which is a book that has been everywhere but you have not heard much about it. And Younger, a younger version. So this is to read a new release, a 2024 release. The prompts I did do were Wings, and this was on the top of my TBR. I wanted to really get to another R.L. Stine, so I read Night Games, which is in the Fear Street world. 3 stars, 165 pages. Teenagers doing pranks at night, and the pranks get more and more severe, like breaking and entering. There is a death involved, things like that. So it's your Fear Street. So, and then Horn, and in parentheses it has a Y, so Horny. This is to read a book that makes you excited, and however the heck you interpret that. I was excited to get to this book, and it is very sexually explicit. It is an erotica. This is Cassie's Secret by Ophelia Bell. It is book number 1 in the Rebel Lust Taboo series. This is an age gap between a stepdaughter and a stepfather. They are the ones that are having sex. It is BDSM. And then the stepdad's friend comes in. So it's a 3-way, male, male, female. 4 stars, 181 pages. And then we have Team EEK. This is the last one. The prompts I did not do are Underestimate, so a book you have not heard great things about. Library was the last place, so a borrowed book. EEK, alliteration in the title. And Color of the Rainbow, LGBTQ plus book. I did not. Now some of those books that I read will slot for other things, but I never doubled up or anything, so. But the prompt I did put a book in for was Girl Power, and this is to read a book with a strong female character. I read a mystery, Carrots by Colleen Helm, and this is book number 1 in a mystery series. 4 stars, 287 pages. She's going to get some carrots from the grocery store, and a bullet grazes her head because there's a robbery. And then when she wakes up, she realizes she can hear people's thoughts. So there's a mob person that wants to take advantage of it, and she's trying to help the police at the same time, and her husband is a lawyer, and so she's trying to navigate the whole thing and not read his thoughts and things like that. So it just goes from there. So it was interesting, and I will continue that series. So that was 3,341 pages read. Divided by 13 books, it was 257 pages per book. Or divided by the 31 days, it was 107.77 pages per day. 1 book got a 2-star, 5 got a 3-star, 7 got a 4-star. 45 stars issued, divided by 13 books, 3.46 star average. Let me know, have you read any of these books? Have you read from any of these authors, but maybe some of their different books? Let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And if you participated in this Monsters University Readathon, what team were you on? Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.